What is going on, everybody? My name is Ethan. Welcome back to HardCap Games, another episode here on the channel. Today with a brand new series that I just came up with last night, and I'm acting on it today. We are playing some MLB The Show 22, starting a Detroit Tigers franchise. If you guys don't know, I'm a part-time fan of Detroit sports. My family's from Michigan, but I grew up in Boston, so I'm a Boston sports fan. But I do have a connection to the city of Detroit, and I want to get them a World Series because it's been so very long since they've won a World Series. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing probably about 1 or 2 games a month. I don't want this to drag on forever, and I'm going to keep it relatively realistic in terms of the trades we do. This is not going to be one episode thing. It's going to be multiple episodes. This is a new series here on the channel. So if you guys are excited, make sure to leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new. And let's take a look at what the Tigers have going on, and I'll explain what my game plan is here. So, the issue with the Detroit Tigers is that they're not very good. If we take a look here, we have Javi Baez, Jonathan Schoop, and Andrew Schaffen as our top 3 players. I forgot they had Andrew Schaffen. That's how out of order this team appears to be. Javi Baez is very good. He's under contract for a very long time. I'm not going to even consider moving Javi Baez. Jonathan Schoop, however, is only under contract for the next 2 seasons. We need to think about what we do with Jonathan Schoop. If I say someone's name correctly, I apologize. Jonathan Schoop is a name that I've never really gotten correct. I'm pretty sure it's Schoop, though. Andrew Schaffen, 31 years old, on contract for 2 years. That's pretty solid. Eduardo Rodriguez just got signed to a massive contract. But, you take a look at this team, right, and there's a lot of young guys and a lot of old guys that are getting a lot of money, namely, Miguel Cabrera, who's getting $31 million this year and next year. That's an issue. But they also have guys like Victor Reyes, who is very, very solid as a player, but is only under contract for this year, and he has 2 years of arbitration. So I'm probably going to try and get Victor Reyes a contract, but I want to take a look at, what we've got going on here, right? There's a lot of players that are listed as starting pitchers for the Tigers that are in the bullpen. I think right now my rotation is Erod, Turnbull, Pineda, Mize, and it might be Tyler Alexander. I think that's what it is, yeah. There's a lot of guys here, though, like Tariq Skubal, who is not a starter. And is also not all that great, but he's a 71 overall, and it's better than most of what we've got going on over here. We got Andrew Schaffen, Hoyt Cisnero, Joe Jimenez, Michael Fulmer, who is massively disappointing every time I use him. I feel like I just give up a massive dinger every time he's on the mound. It's because his stats aren't that great. So, take a look at this team. There's not much going on here, and there's a lot of players that are up just because we need depth. So that causes issues. There are a couple of players I'm going to go after for trades. I'm going to try and keep it as low-key as possible. We are starting from the beginning of the season. At this point in time, the Tigers are, I believe, 4th in their division. Let me check on this. Yeah, so at this point, the Detroit Tigers are 4th in the AL Central. They are 22-33, 9 games back of the Twins, who are in first place, and 4 games ahead of the Royals. But we are starting from day 1, so we have the ability to change our own fortune. I think the issue with the Tigers, I saw a stat the other day that their team ERA is amongst the best in baseball. It's a top 15. At least I saw it's a week ago. It was a top 15 team ERA, but their hitters are just not making up runs for them. So that's hopefully what we're going to change here. Gregory Soto is an all-star as a 67 overall. I look at him and I see that there's a bit there. In terms of sim, he's probably not the greatest. But, he's got that 99 velocity. He's throwing very hard for a closer. 27 stamina means he's really only good for a 9th inning, coming for a save. But he's got 74 control, 73 break, which, compared to, these other guys that we've got going around here, could be way worse. And he's not only under contract for this year. He's up for 3 years of arbitration. There's a bunch of different features in MLB The Show that I'm not entirely certain how they work, but we're going to figure it out as we go along. But we have Greg Soto up right now. I think I want to move Ronnie Garcia just somewhere else. Probably down to AA and move this guy no, probably down to AAA, so he can progress a little bit more. He is 26. He's a B. That's not really useful to us, right? Like, a lot of these players are not useful. Like, Ronnie Garcia is a D potential with, at 24 years old, he's a 59. He's not going to get much better. And, I mean, this is, in his 2 appearances last year, he did all right. He let up 1 homer and 2 walks. Nah, that's not great, actually. In terms of catchers, they have 2 pretty decent catchers. Tucker Barnhart can't hit. Eric Haas is not as good, can't field. So I think Eric Haas is going to end up being a DH for us, with some fielding roles. He's got a pretty good arm, but his reaction is not great. He'll probably only really slot in during lefty lineups because he can really hit against lefties. He's not good against righties at all. So this is where we have an issue, right? We have Spencer Torkelson, the 22-year-old, 74 overall, A potential, rising star, like one of the best prospects in baseball. And we also have Miguel Cabrera, the seasoned vet. Everyone knows Miguel Cabrera. He's a legend. He's got 2 years left on his contract, I believe. Yeah, 2 years left. And obviously, Miggy is the guy. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I've been watching him since I was very, very young. I think I want him to play out his contract and then hopefully retire. I've seen him retire at the end of this year and before in simulations. I've seen him retire at next year. So he'll be gone at some point in the future, but he's only going to get worse. I'm not trading Miggy. I'm definitely not going to play him at first base, though. We have Scope and we have Willy Castro. I love Willy Castro as a player. I think his fielding really makes up for his lack of hitting potential, but also the ability to play anywhere middle infield and the 2 corner outfields. I think that's really valuable to us. I don't know why Cody Clemens is up. I'm probably going to move him back down. We don't need Cody Clemens up, and he's not especially good. He's 25 years old, deep potential. I'm going to try and move him probably. But all this is going to be covered also under the 3 prospects I'm trading for. This is a team that is built for the future. It's not a team built for right now. So we have to consider that when we're constructing our team. Heimer Candelario, Candyman, he's pretty good. He's only got 1 year left on this contract. I might look to move Candelario, maybe sign him and trade him at some point, but he's pretty serviceable. I mean, he can hit pretty well. He's a career 246 hitter, which isn't fantastic, but I think that's just because I don't know what. He's had a lot of injury issues. He hasn't really played a whole lot of places before. A whole lot of games, I mean. Like, he's played a full season here and a full season here. The 2020 half season because of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, if we want to call it that. And he played 94 here. I think he got injured here. So he's due to have a big year. We look at his stats from this most recent year. He had a really good season. I'm hoping that he can keep up with that. Isaac Paredes is interesting. I think I would like him as a 6-9 overall 23-year-old. I think I'd like him to sit in AAA. Javi Baez, obviously, is Javi Baez. He's not going anywhere. He's under contract for the next 6 seasons. We got Harold Castro, who's also up. Harold Castro is great because he plays any position and he can hit all right. If it's a right-handed batter, he'll hit it into the outfield. He probably won't hit a home run. I think he's only hit like a couple in his career. 8 home runs in his 5-year career. On 106 games played last year, hit 3. So there's no pop on his bat whatsoever, but I think that he can still be a valuable piece of this team, especially because he plays literally every position other than catcher. I think Harold Castro has to stick around. Zach Short, I have no idea why Zach Short is up here. Left fielders, Akil Baddoo. I really want Akil Baddoo to become the guy. I want him to be, he's got 83 speed. 62 stealing. He's got pretty all right hitting stats, especially against righties, not really so much against lefties. This guy right here, I'm not sure who Jacob Robson is, but he's in AAA. He's a 59 overall. I don't like this. So probably what I'm going to do is once we're done here, I'm going to go through all the positions, and if there's anyone that I think should be up a level or down a level, I'm going to move them, and I probably just won't tell you about it until it's important again. Here is an issue because we have a lot of players that I don't especially like. Daz Cameron has really no business being up at this level, unfortunately. He only plays the outfield, and he's got no pop on his bat, so he's 100% going back down. Derek Hill, I don't even really know who Derek Hill is, actually. He seems to be like the sub-in guy. I mean, he only had 140 at-bats last year. But Victor Reyes is a guy that I think should be the everyday starter around this team for right now until Riley Green is ready to come up. Hopefully, probably not until next season. Maybe this season. And Robbie Grossman is fine. I could have swore Robbie Grossman was faster than that. 64 speed is really bad. He is 32 years old, so it's possible that they dropped off his speed. He's pretty happy right now. He's serviceable, right? He hits pretty decently compared to like these other guys around here. That's the problem with the Tigers. There's not a lot of players that can really hit. So I'm in a position where I have to make decisions about who goes where. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look around, see what we've got going on, move players as I see fit, and I'll get back to you in a second, tell you what big moves I made. So I'm thinking now that actually, instead of doing all of that moving now, I'm going to wait until after I do the 3 trades that I want to do. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get these guys, but I've identified 3 players that I want to trade for. And I'll explain why I want to trade for them as well. So first things first, I want to go talk to the LA Dodgers. Now, the LA Dodgers have an individual by the name of Michael Busch. The problem with the Tigers, right, is that they have a lot of players that are under contract, and they have a lot of players that are making a lot of money, but they don't have prospects that are ready to take over when those guys' contracts are up. Michael Busch is a 24-year-old, a potential 70 overall. I know Dodgers fans might be like, oh, we would never trade Michael Busch. Well, that's why we're looking. So if we look at Michael Busch, his stats are all right in terms of hitting. His fielding stats, that 68 fielding, 65 arm, 60 acceleration, 60 reaction, 67 speed, that's really good for a second baseman, especially one this young. I can plug him into AAA, let him just rake for a little bit, and then I'll be able to call him up later. So I do want to trade for Michael Busch. I'm not certain what it's going to get, what's going to take. Let's just see what they're looking for. No. So there are some pieces that I might be. Oh, they're in budget hell. So maybe I can take him and a really bad contract from them. I'm trying to think, like, do they have anyone down here who's making a lot of money to be not very good? Cody Bellinger maybe is making a lot of money as an 81 overall. I think Bellinger would be a great pickup for us. Maybe we can take Craig Kimbrell off their hands as he's making $16 million this year, which is a lot. Daniel Hudson is, I think, the guy that we want to try and take back to make this work for us. So I can give them Michael Pineda. I'm not a fan of Michael Pineda at all. I think that he's just mediocre. That walks per 9 is really good, but I'm not too invested in getting him. The thing is, right, I have to be able to get a player back that is actually, like, ready to play now if I'm trading away Pineda. So maybe I sub in Kimbrell instead. So I'm taking Kimbrell off their hands. Maybe I can get Bellinger as well if I actually add some like important pieces here. Eric Haas is not the value looking for. This is the problem with the Tigers, right? They don't have the value. I don't want to trade away my entire starting rotation. But I think trading away Willy Castro and Pineda wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And then maybe I take a look down here. Tariq Skubal, no. We're going to come back to it. I do want to try and get Michael Busch at some point. But instead, I think we're going to talk to the Yankees for a sec. Now, the Yankees have a man named Jason Dominguez here. He's a 72 overall. He is going to take a lot to get. He's not making a lot of money, and they don't really have much space. They would do this if I take something else from them. So if I'm trading away Scope, I should try and get back an infielder probably. Anthony Volpe would 100% not be able to come over in this trade, but if I could get him, that'd be fantastic. They're not going to trade me their 2 top prospects though. So maybe I can get LeMahieu instead, and then I'm opening them up for contract intake. Once again, I'll offer them Pineda. They've already had Pineda in the past. Maybe Tyler Alexander. That's another starting pitcher though. Derek Hill. There it is. Okay, so the interesting thing about this, right? I think we're actually getting back a lot of value here. I'm now wondering, is there another player that we could possibly swipe away from the Yankees in a trade like this. So Yankees fans would kill me if I took Nestor Cortez. So maybe I can take like... It looks like they're not going to do anything more than this. I think that the thing is, right? Why do I want Jason Dominguez? It's because of that. For a center fielder at Comerica Park, one of the deepest parks in MLB, that is gigantic. Like, I was looking up, like, oh, why is Jason Dominguez, like, so good in this game? It's because of that. He's a 72 overall, 19 years old, A potential, with 94 speed. You can't teach that. You can't teach that. He's going to be phenomenal. Once he gets that hitting up, which I give him like a year or so in the minors, gets that hitting up, he'll be awesome for us. And we're getting back also DJ LeMahieu, who can play a lot of inside positions. And we're trading away Jonathan Scope, which is one of our top players on the team. But I don't really have an issue with that. Because like I said, we're not really in like a win now mode, right? I'm going to offer this trade to the Yankees, and they're going to accept it. So DJ LeMahieu is now probably our starting... Actually, I don't even know where he would have to start. Right, let's take a look, right? We're going to have Torkelson, we're going to have Willy Castro, we're going to have LeMahieu, and we also have Candelario over here, and we have Javi Baez. So maybe LeMahieu slides in for Willy Castro for now, and then Willy Castro becomes like a utility guy. Or maybe I move Willy Castro to the outfield because this needs help. There's one other guy I wanted to trade for. I might try and get Michael Busch later. I wasn't too crazy about Michael Busch as I was these other two guys. So I'm going to see if I can get him. We're going to go talk to the Texas Rangers. And I want to go talk to them about their third base prospect, Josh Jung. And I want to see, is there anything? They want Casey, they want Akil, they want Willie, they want Riley. I'm fine with this. And I'm actually going to pull it. So now we've got our third baseman prospect of the future. There he is. Isaac Paredes is probably not going to be the guy. All right. So those are the three players I really wanted to trade for. I do think I still need to upgrade my pen, but I think I can wait on that till a little bit later. The last thing I wanted to do, and this is for entirely personal reasons, there is one player I want to pick up. There is a player who went to my high school briefly. A player by the name of Matt Tabor, who's actually not that bad. He's got B potential, 66 overall relief pitcher, pretty decent stats. So I'm going to sign him. I want to give him more than a 1-year deal. I'll have to pay him out at the end of the year. So that appears to be everybody. So he is going to go and play in AAA for a little bit. Jackson Jobe should be up in AA. All right, so I'm going to do a bunch of these roster moves. I'll get back to you in a second. So we have, as you can see up there, we have a lot of spots that we can fill in with free agents. So I'm going to do just that. No, the common thing is, oh, just fill up with like these top guys. I really do want to take a look and see like what young guys are out there that could help us in the future. I don't know if Trevor Rosenthal can really help. I don't know if Hwang Young Kim can help. Actually, that's a pretty good pitch repertoire. As a 77 overall, he'd be like our second best pitcher. I'm going to throw him a 3-year deal. See how low I can go on this, though. Worth 2.6. All right. That actually gives me the freedom to move Tariq Skubal back to the pen. So I now don't need him. Cueto's past his prime. I don't know who this guy is. Giancarlo Arturo. He seems like he's probably a made-up guy. Let me look him up, though. I don't really want to sign the made-up guys. Yeah, he's a made-up guy. All right. I don't want to sign made-up players that are 20 years old. Probably same with Harold McCormack, right? I can't imagine an 18-year-old 70 overall. This guy's fake as well. I want this to be like as like real as possible. Steven Ibar is a name I recognize. No, it's not. These are all like made up dudes. Why are there made up dudes down here? Rosenthal's here. John Curtis is here. What's my biggest team need? It's like big sluggers, right? My pen is very weak, actually. I'm going to see what I can get by throwing like you and you into the trade. If I find anything interesting, I'll let you know. So the Rays are offering a first baseman, 23-year-old B potential for these two old relievers that are not very good. So I'm going to accept that. And that just opens up one roster spot for us. There are really no good young relievers on here, except for John Curtis, which I think might be a decent play for us to sign him. I'm going to give him a 4-year deal so that we're staggering these a little bit. So we only have like 1 second baseman like officially. We do have a couple others, but I think bolstering our outfield might be worth our time. Chris Davis is here. He's a 66 overall, 34 years old. He can't really field, but he can still hit. In order for you to be here, you have to have that type of fielding. But Ben Ruda can't really hit. That's the thing. I'm looking for like a nice balanced player. I don't think Danny Santana is necessarily a bad pickup, or Juan Lagares is definitely worse. There's not really much out here, is there? Michael Donaldson? He's not a real dude. Brett Gardner's here, but Brett Gardner can't really hit like he used to. His fielding's still all right. He might be serviceable to come in. But, I mean, I think Michael Conforto is just the guy, right? He really wants a long-term extension. I'll give him 3 at 18. Cool. John Jay is here. 59 overall. He can still hit, but I don't want Jonathan Aranda up here. I want him down in AA. Who do I not want anymore? Probably you. You're not going to get any better. See if I can just trade him for something. See if I can trade these 2 guys for 1 guy. Just to open up a roster spot. Trade for this guy. Relief pitcher is better than these 2. So if we look at my AAA roster, right? Like I've got a lot of players that are up and coming right now. And this guy's down here on waivers. But I think that this is a pretty decent spot for this team, you know? I'm going to send down Lange. And I think we're all set with this team. So typically an MLB team lets you have, I think it's 26 men on your starting roster. So we might actually have too many, in which case I'll probably send down Kyle Funkhauser to AAA. Brad Bass is going to go to single A along with Joe Navalon. All right, so I'm pretty sure I've got our lineups figured out. So leading off in pretty much every scenario, we have Victor Reyes. Because he's pretty good at contact and he's pretty speedy. I don't know why Candelario's here. That was supposed to be Akil Baddoo. Akil Baddoo is hitting second, Torkelson hitting third, and the cleanup spot is Javi Baez. Miguel Cabrera, this is against right-handed with designated hitters. Miguel Cabrera hitting fifth, Candelario hitting sixth, LeMahieu hitting seventh, Conforto hitting eighth, and Tucker Barnhart hitting ninth. For no reason other than like I want him to actually play catcher, because he's really good defensively. With no DH, it's Reyes, Conforto. That's strange. Okay, that shouldn't be that. That should be Baddoo again. It should be Reyes, Baddoo, Torkelson, Baez, Conforto, LeMahieu, Candelario, Barnhart, Erod. So no Miguel Cabrera in this lineup. Against left-handed guys, though, it changes up a little bit. Akil Baddoo is not very good against lefties, so he sits on the bench, and Robbie Grossman comes in. Willy Castro goes and plays left. Victor Reyes, Willy Castro, as opposed to Castro not playing here against righties, because he can't hit against righties. Reyes, Castro, Baez, Haas hitting cleanup, because look at that 99 power. Cabrera again, because he's a lot better against lefties. Torkelson, LeMahieu, Candelario, Grossman. And with no DH, it's Reyes, Castro, Baez, Haas, Torkelson, LeMahieu, Candelario, Grossman, pitcher. And then my rotation is Erod. There. Erod, Turnbull, Kim, Alexander, Casey Mize. And then my bullpen, Joey Wentz, Matt Manning, Chase Anderson, John Curtis, Andrew Schaffen, Michael Fulmer, Joe Jimenez, Tariq Skubal, Greg Soto. So, that's what we got going on. That's what the Detroit Tigers have going on. So, I know this might have been a little bit of a longer episode. We're going to start playing games. I do, by the end of this series, want to play every game. I'm going to give everyone that I want a contract extension in between episodes too. I'm not going to waste your time with that. And then I'm probably just going to skip right to the regular season, because who cares about spring training? So, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like them below. Let me know how I should fix my team, what players that you want me to target, if there's any at all. So, with that being said, my name is Ethan. This has been HardCap Games, and I will see you in the next episode for opening day. Peace.